guess what I'm going to show you today? I'm going to show you things that cost very little or are free to take on your cruise. So the first thing is, this isn't free, but this was only, I think it was like $14 or $15. Now watch. Okay, so it's a fan. It's a magnetic fan. You can put it anywhere you want. People like it because it makes white noise. I like it because I'll tell you what. I'll just be honest with you. Most cruise lines do not have, how does my husband call it? Affectionately, a fart fan. They don't have a fart fan in the bathrooms. So if you want a fan, you have to bring it. This is magnetic, so it can hang from the ceiling. Also, you can use this to dry your bathing suit. Along the same lines, bring an old spray that you don't like, and because you don't want to bring a big thing of aerosol, just use it for that purpose. Not that you hate it, but just one that is not your favorite to wear. Anyways, so I bring a little spray for that purpose, and I bring a fan. And it, like I said, it also works to dry your bathing suit because there's not much ventilation. And if you only have, I bring 2 bathing suits, but even bringing 2 bathing suits, if I wear one day, now it's wet, it's not always dry in the morning. So, the other one, I have to wear the other one, and sometimes I want to go swimming more than once a day. So this helps to dry something. It's really good for that. The other thing that I always bring on a cruise, because occasionally I might get a beer or a soda. I don't drink a lot, so I don't usually do this, but my husband will have a beer every now and then. So I bring a little koozie because I want it to stay cold. A lot of times the cruises that we go on are in the Caribbean or Mexico or somewhere warm. I haven't done an Alaska cruise yet. That's on my list of things I want to do. But I bring a little koozie. I know that's mine. Another thing I bring, I always bring, my white dress. Sometimes I have these clam diggers. They're white with like this fluffy shirt. And that's white also. But I like to bring glow-in-the-dark bracelets because everyone's wearing glow-in-the-dark necklaces or earrings, or they hand out those wand thingies. It's just something bright and cheery to wear to the party. And also if they have an 80s party, these go pretty well with it too. 80s had a big neon theme too. So that's a few things that I bring. Let me think, what else? Oh, I bring a neck camera thing. And let me tell you, I was gifted the packing cubes from my credit card company. And I used them one time. I had like the leather, toiletry bag and all that. It's big. It takes up a lot of room in my, carry-on bag. But I don't use that much stuff. I have tiny little shampoo and tiny little conditioner, and I don't wear a whole lot of makeup, and I wear the same makeup pretty much day in, day out. And that's usually in my purse. So I don't really have a whole lot of toiletries. I have a regular sized deodorant because it's not very big. And toothbrush and toothpaste. I don't need this big honking case for that. So I use plastic bags. Also, if those things the lids were to pop off, you don't want that in your fancy leather case. You want it in a plastic bag so it doesn't get all over everything else. And I repurpose. So these are like old Shein bags that I got. They got the little Ziplocs. Because here's the thing. Also for shoes, like if you have a shoe bag, right? And you're like, oh, I'm going to get a shoe bag because if my feet get all dirty walking around at these ports and stuff. Well, then you're going to put these dirty, nasty shoes into a shoe bag, and then you'll put that with your luggage. And then when you get home, what are you going to do? You're going to clean this shoe bag? I'm going to throw this away if my shoes get messy. And I'm not going to feel bad about it because I repurposed it one time. So I keep old bags, and I use those to put my shoes in, to wrap my toiletries in, And that way, every time you reuse a plastic, not only does it save you money, but it helps the environment, because we have so much plastic in the world now. They're finding plastic in people's brains. Um, I'm not exaggerating. I wish it was. But yeah, anyways, repurpose plastic whenever you can. We don't want any more plastic. But there are times where it's very useful. If I'm picking up something gross, I don't want to touch it with my hands. I'll put my hand in a plastic bag and then pick up something, and throw it away, flip it over and throw it away. Um, so there's reasons for plastic, but repurpose whenever you can. I put my shoes in there. I put my shampoo and conditioner and deodorant in a plastic bag, and I tuck it in a little corner. It saves space. Also, when I weighed my bag, because I used to work for airlines, so I always have an idea about how much things weigh and stuff. Anyway, I weighed my bag, and then I weighed it empty with the nice fancy set of packing cubes that was gifted to me. I'm like, I'm not wasting that much space and weight on packing cubes when I can just use some plastic bags. In fact, the Dollar Tree has those vacuum bags that you can squish out all the air. So if you're a heavy packer and you're like, oh, I'm running low on space, get those. You can smush them down and get all the air out. You can get a lot of clothes in there. I have not done that because I'm a pretty light packer, but my mom has used those and they work wonders for her. She really liked using them, and it helped her because she travels with me occasionally, but she's not as decisive on her outfits. A lot of times she'll pack this and that and everything else, and she's got a lot of outfits, but she doesn't make up her mind what to wear. And then she'll come over and say, what do you think I should wear? I think you should wear this, and it'll be something from my closet. So it's good if you can plan your outfits beforehand. Just don't be like someone else in my family who literally, they packed over 30 outfits. Yes, the closet's only this wide, but she packed it full of clothes for a 7-day cruise and still had some in her luggage. And so much that nobody else could put any in that closet. It was crazy. So don't be like her. Be considerate. Share your closet space. That is something that the packing cubes are good for, is if you're having to share a room with a bunch of girls. Sometimes we take more stuff. We have more things we have to take care of. We got to shave our legs. We got to do, there's stuff, right? So if you do have packing cubes for that, then okay, this half of the drawer is mine, this half of the drawer is yours. It is convenient for that, but you can do the same thing with plastic bags too if you want. If you have packing cubes, by all means, if you like using them, use them. I'm not saying throw away your packing cubes, but I'm saying if you haven't bought them and you're like, should I spend the money? It's up to you. You don't have to. You can use plastic bags that you already got for free. So that's an idea. And if you're traveling also, I don't take my most expensive sunglasses. I take some medium, where are they? Some medium sunglasses that I like. I think they look cute. They're not, super designer or anything like that. But if I lose them, I'm probably not going to cry big tears because they weren't an arm and a leg. And when you can on and off harbor tenders and you're carrying stuff to and from the beach, or excursions, maybe you go for a clear boat ride, or things can get mixed up. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes somebody grabbed it on accident thinking it's their whatever. Don't take your most favorite stuff. And I would recommend not taking very expensive jewelry also, especially in places that might have a security warning, for your own safety. Not that I'm saying you should never wear anything pretty. You can, but maybe save that for the ship. Anyway, so bring your koozies to keep your beers cold if you're having a beer, or a soda if you're having a can of pop. Bring some plastic bags for your shoes. Bring some plastic bags to keep the toiletries that if the top came off, you wouldn't want this stuff all over your clothes. You don't want a bunch of shampoo and conditioner on everything. Same thing if you have makeup. I don't want my makeup, TSA has to go through things, and sometimes they don't put the lids back on all the way. So if that happens, I don't want my stuff all over the place. Has this happened to you? I wonder. Maybe it has. Anyways, that's what you do. You keep it in a plastic bag. So if it does explode, because if they don't tighten it all the way, that's going under the cabin, and there's a lot of pressure in the cargo bin. So even if no other bag touches your bag, which is unlikely, usually they're stacked, So the bigger your bag is, the more bags it's going to have on top of it. If you work for UPS or FedEx, you know what I mean about building the wall. They pack the biggest bags on the bottom and then go up from there. So if you don't want your stuff smashed, put it in a smaller bag instead of a big giant bag. But the cabin pressure itself could make things come out of their containers. So just keep that in mind when you're packing. Try to pack light, try to pack smart, and you don't have to have fancy stuff unless you want to have fancy stuff. And don't forget, if you like any of my content, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me as I'm trying to grow this channel. And that's about it. Don't forget, the more dollars you save, the more you get to travel. Have a great time.